In this video, I'm going to be making crazy coconut chocolate clusters. This is from the Golden Girls Cookbook. There it is. I actually bought this for me. So, what you are going to need for this recipe, you need 2.5 cups of unsweetened coconut flakes. It's this whole bag. So I measured it out. You're going to use the whole bag. This is a 5-ounce bag. So if you buy a 5-ounce bag of unsweetened coconut, that's what you're going to need. You need a 1/3 cup mini chocolate chips, and it does say mini, so I made sure I bought those, and that's how they look. They're really cute and small. You need 2 egg whites, which I have right here. A large pinch of salt. 3 tablespoons of sugar. 3 tablespoons of sweetened condensed milk, which I have in there, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So you're going to heat your oven to 350 degrees, and I have a cookie sheet here, and I put a piece of parchment paper on it. The directions don't say to do that, but I did it so that I don't have to worry about cleaning my pan. So you want to spread, it says half, which you would have to measure to be perfectly half, but you want to spread half, that looks like about half, of these on your parchment paper. And we're going to put this in the oven for about 5 minutes. And you're going to stir the coconut once, about halfway through, to make sure that it gets evenly toasted. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. This is how the coconut looks after 5 minutes, and I did flip it over about halfway in between the time, and it looked white at that point, so it really started toasting when I put it back in the oven. Now you want to let the coconut and the pan cool completely, and you want to turn your oven temperature down to 300 degrees. I took my cooled toasted coconut, and then you want to add your regular coconut, your toasted and your untoasted coconut, and then your chocolate chips. And you want to just put these in a bowl and set this to the side. Now you want to whisk together your egg whites and your salt until it gets foamy. This is definitely foamy, so now you want to start adding your sugar gradually and keep beating it until it forms soft peaks. Okay, it said soft peaks, so I'm assuming that is soft peaks. I hope so, because we're going to go with it. So now to this, you want to stir in your vanilla and your sweetened condensed milk. And then you want to add this mixture to your coconut. So I'm gonna just pour that right in there with the coconut. So now I have my cookie sheet back with the parchment paper. I'm using the exact same sheet of parchment paper that I toasted my coconut on. You might even see a few little pieces here and there. But you want to take a teaspoon, or I'm going to use a cookie scoop, and you want to take this and drop it onto your parchment paper. And it says that these are it's better to have them tall than flat. Okay, now we want to bake these in our 300-degree oven for 35 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer for, I'll probably set it for 33 minutes and check on it, and then we'll be back. The directions had said to go for 35 minutes. I left mine in for 33 minutes. And honestly, I wish I had checked them at like 30 minutes because they're brown. I think they're fine. I think they're gonna be perfectly fine, but they're browner than I would have thought they would have been, put it that way. So now I'm gonna leave them on the cookie sheet and let them cool completely. So these have been cooling for a little bit. I took 2 off of here because it says in the cookbook to try putting them in the freezer for 5 minutes before you want to try them for a different experience. So I took 2 so that Kevin and I can try one at room temperature and one each frozen. But I thought I was going to need my my spatula. I don't, because this is how they look. They actually look really good. I was worried about them, the color being too dark, but they actually look really, really nice. So I can't wait to give these a try. So the cookbook says these started out as macaroons, but Dorothy, as thrifty as she is practical, found a few mini chocolate chips in the cupboard and decided, what the heck? These will last for days if you keep them hidden. Try popping one in the freezer for 5 minutes before savoring it. A real treat. So these are the ones from the freezer. We're gonna try these first, one of these first, and then we're gonna try the ones at room temperature because I wanna see what the big deal is, putting them in the freezer. Lots of chocolate chips.
Mm-hmm. Lots of coconut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are good from the freezer. I don't. Of course, we won't know until we try these.
They're not frozen.
No. No, not for 5 minutes. They wouldn't make much of a difference.
They're kind of chewy, honestly. Okay, so let's try one of these then. Yeah. I don't know which one to get. I like it better at room temperature.
A lot of coconut to shoot. Yeah, they're a little softer.
I think they're easier to eat at room temperature. Not that they were hard to eat at. They're not frozen. Put them in there for 5 minutes.
No, they're just a little crunchier almost.
Yeah, they're just, to me it was chewier. When we bought the unsweetened coconut, Kevin was like, almost like that was sacrilege because we always buy sweetened coconut. You can't tell that this is unsweetened coconut.
No, it's sweet enough.
Although I wonder why they didn't want you to use sweetened.
Maybe it'd be too sweet then. I don't know. I think they're sweet enough. They're fine.
I do
like the chocolate too.
I wonder if when you're toasting it, if it would have maybe burned if it had if it had the sugar on it.
Maybe.
Because you have to toast it first.
Yeah. Could have been the sugar would have burned or something, or burned easier.
So what do you think about the flavor?
They're good. I like the addition of the chocolate chips, and they got a crisp texture on the outside. They're really soft and chewy on the inside. It's a lot of coconut though, so if you don't like coconut, of course, don't make these.
Well, it said that that it's better to have them taller than it is flat. You don't want them flat.
And I guess you'd lose that chewy inside.
Yes, I think that adds to the amount you get inside. This is not an overly sweet dessert though. I think it's a sweet.
It's just overly coconut.
It's definitely sweet, but it's not like overly sweet.
No.
So it says, now there is a serious choice to be made. leave the clusters out uncovered for a chewy texture, or store them in a covered container for a more crumbly texture. Either way, they won't last long. It says makes about 18 2-inch clusters. I didn't even count to see. I'm sure if we looked back at the footage, we would see how many we made.
18.
I made 18?
18 or 19.
Oh, well, that's the first time.
Yep.
That's the first time I ever got it right. Because normally I make them way too big. But I did use that 1-inch cookie scoop or whatever.
These are good. I like the chewiness of them.
I do too. They were easy to make. The unsweetened coconut, like I said, you wouldn't know it because it still is sweet from the sweetened condensed milk and the chocolate chips, and you do taste the chocolate chips.
100% taste the chocolate.
So I think that really added something to these.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.